And now, of course, the Mashujaa Day was observed across the whole country, many towns and many cities. And I want to take you to Kisumu County, where we have our reporter Simon Achola on standby. Simon Achola, if you can hear me, what is going on in Kisumu County? What do you know so far?
Well, good afternoon. Give us on Maina. We are coming to you live from Kisumu County. And what I can assure you is that the morning mood is still there. But as has been witnessed in the last 3 or 4 days since, of course, the announcement of Raila Amolo Odinga's death, Kisumu has been a little bit slow. The first day on Wednesday, of course, there were some people who actually went about their activities in town, but that was up until around midday. And then thereafter, of course, what happened was a session of mourning. We saw people mourning, boda boda riders hooting, and of course, most of the businesses remained closed as people either shied over for obvious reasons, but of course, some actually said they were actually in mourning, and they will continue mourning up until the day, of course, the former premier is actually interred. And of course, by yesterday, most shops here in Kisumu County, and of course, better part of Bondo and Siaya were actually closed. Most of the people had actually moved to Bondo to be part and parcel of that burial ceremony that is actually going down in Bondo, specifically at Jaramogi Odinga University of Science and Technology, before, of course, the remains went to Kango Ka Jaramogi. But, of course, today we are in Kisumu County. Today also it coincides with the Mashujaa Day celebrations, of course, across the country. But what we are seeing in Kisumu County is that they are a little bit slower than expected. And people are going about their business. Of course, it is calmer, but still, locals here are still mourning their hero. They are saying that, yes, we have buried him yesterday, but we still remember him for what he did for this country, and we continue to mourn. And most of them, of course, are calling for peace. I'll just talk to about 2 people here. I'll talk to a boda boda rider who, of course, is part and parcel of what is happening here in Kisumu County. So then he can actually give us an insight of exactly what he feels about what is actually going on. Karibu sana Godwin. Godwin, yes. Yes, takushikia microphone. Niambie wewe kama mkazi wa Kisumu kwanza na muhusika wa bodaboda, unajisikia vipi kwanza siku ya leo ya Mashujaa?
Asante sana. Naitwa Godwin Odhiambo. Mimi ni mkaaji wa Kisumu. Pia ni mfanya bodaboda, biashara ya bodaboda. So tumeshukuru sana rais wetu wa Kenya, mzee William Samoei Ruto, kwa yale ambayo ametufanyia kama Wajaluo na kama Kenya nzima. Tumeappreciate hiyo kazi yenye alifanya tangu mzee aage, na hata bado anaendelea kufanya. Sisi kama wakaaji wa Kisumu, watu walikuwa na expect vitu mbaya mbaya kutoka Kisumu, lakini sisi tulionyesha ya kwamba hatutaki fujo. Wakati wa kusindikisha mzee wetu Raila Amolo Odinga, tulionyesha amani, na tunashukuru watu wa Kisumu kwa kuwa waliendeleza amani. Na sasa vile tumerejea kasi, lazima kasi ikue chini kidogo, vitu haijaanza kufanya kasi vile inafaa ikue, but tuna imani ya kwamba itafanyika tu vizuri. Bado watu wako na uchungu, bado watu wanaomboleza. Kwa hayo machache nashukuru sana.
Hebu nikuulize Gordon, kuendelea mbele, wewe kama mkazi wa Kisumu ungependa pengine hii hali inaendelea, hii ya utulivu na usalama iendelee?
Hii hali ya utulivu na usalama tunatamani iendelee Kenya nzima, sio hata Kisumu, sio hata Nyanza, lakini Kenya nzima. Hali ya utulivu ikikuwa, ndio hata hiyo kuendelea, watu wanaendelea, biashara inaendelea mbele, watu wanaweza pata mapato madogo ya kuenda nao kwa manyumba.
Shukran sana Gordon. Of course, that is one of the boda boda riders here in Kisumu, giving a very valid point that indeed if there's peace, so many things will actually roll into motion. Let us also have views from one of the investors here in Kisumu, Hiren Mehta.
Good afternoon, His Excellency President Kenya. We would like to thank you from the bottom of our heart. You accorded a state funeral for our leader, our Mashujaa, the late His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga. And a special message to Mama Ida. We are condoling with you. We wish to convey the condolences on behalf of the business community, on behalf of the people of Kisumu. We are together with you in prayers, in kind. And I would like to say that watoto wa Kisumu, wazee wa Kisumu, tumeonyesha watu wote in the whole world how a peaceful state funeral can be accorded to a stalwart, to a leader, to a great hero, late His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga. On the other note, I wish to pass a message to all the ultra high net worth, the high net worth, all the people in the world, come and invest in Kisumu. This place is going to change forever. In the respect, in the name of our great hero, come and invest in Kisumu. Thank you.
Hiren, just the atmosphere and the mood that's actually been engulfed in Kisumu since, of course, the announcement of Raila Amolo Odinga, and of course the way we have actually, people of this region have actually carried about themselves, especially going about their business and everything. Is it something that we need to emulate actually going forward?
We have changed. The people of Kisumu have shown a lot of maturity. They are sober-minded. From the lowest to the highest people, peace has prevailed. It was Mama Ida's wish that we accord in peace, and it was done. Hence, if there is peace, there is prosperity. So, yes.
If you say if there's peace, there's prosperity. The other thing that I also wanted to ask is about the general investment in Kisumu, because as you've rightly put it, that initially people actually thought that there'll be a lot of chaos, given that, of course, a person of Raila Amolo Odinga's stature had actually just passed on. And you look at the excitement that, of course, he used to elicit when he comes to this region. But you see, the day we had a public viewing in Mamboleo, this was a very peaceful affair. Is this the new Kisumu that we actually want?
This is something we did not expect. With the numbers, with the sentiments of the people, with the amount of numbers that had turned up, but we thank the state, we thank the head of state, and also the people. Both sides, we were well behaved. So I think that's a pat on the back to the people of Kisumu. So those who are not from Kisumu, please invest here. This place in the next 5 years is going to change. Absolutely.
Just last one question before I let you go, Hiren. When you look at how, of course, the speeches were done yesterday in Bondo, going forward, we know this is a predominantly ODM region, right? What will be your ask for leaders who, as of course, we start next year, 2026, is actually a year to the next general election, right? So politics are likely to be heightened. What will be your ask for in terms of politicians as they engage in politics?
When it comes to politics, I cannot answer that question. The only thing I can say is that, like the last election, it was so peaceful and so seamless. So we expect the same next time. Yes.
Thank you very much, Hiren. Okay. Thank you very much. Of course, that is Hiren Mehta, one of the investors in this region, just giving us an insight of exactly what he feels about the need for Kisumu to continue being peaceful, but also congratulating locals from this region in terms of how they behaved themselves during, and of course, during the morning period, the viewing period, and of course, after they have actually buried the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. But key issue is also calling on investors across the world, not just in Kenya, to come and invest in Kisumu. He says that Kisumu is more peaceful than it has ever been thought of. Back to you.